Hi, welcome to the Vedic Astrology New Moon Forecast for November of 2020. The moon is waning. The energy is diminishing. How are you feeling? The moon is waning, getting smaller and darker, and on November 14th at 9:07 p.m. Pacific Time, the moon will reach its darkest point, the end of the Amavasya Tithi, and then begin to wax again. Tired, anxious, uncertain, maybe confused. Dark moons are times for going inward, and this dark moon, new moon coming, is a very powerful new moon, one where we call upon the forces of light to come and bring hope and clarity for the future. This is a dark moon in a time when in the northern hemisphere anyway, the winter is really starting to press in. The nights are growing a lot longer. It's a time to call in the light, a time to call in a sense of hope and thankfulness, gratitude for all we have as well. This new moon is the Diwali new moon, the festival of lights. Diwali is actually technically a 5-day festival of celebration, ritual, of coming together, decorating the home, lighting candles, diyas, oil candles. Also for calling in abundance, calling in blessings for the year to come. So this is a great time to be setting intentions for happiness and fulfillment for your life and the lives of those around you. Diwali is a special festival for honoring the goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance, and Kubera, the god of wealth, and also Lord Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. Diwali new moon also symbolizes sort of the fire of light, right? The celebration of light. And it does have to do with light as being the order, dharma, of what is right. And it is a time when some places in India they celebrate the triumph of Lord Rama, who is sort of like the light of Dharma itself over the demon Ravana, who was the A-Dharma, right? The forces of darkness. So the light over darkness. Also, this is the Kali Puja, the new moon night when Kali defeats the demon Bakasura. So we're calling in a sense of light, of clarity, of certainty on this new moon. This new moon cycle begins in the area of the sky, or the lunar mansion, the nakshatra in Vedic astrology they call it, called Vishaka nakshatra. Vishaka nakshatra is the star of purpose. It's connected to the power of fire, the fierce star of the spirit of fire. Indra Agni is the deity that lives there. It's kind of a hybrid of Indra, the thunder god, and Agni, the god of fire, is said to dwell in this nakshatra. And since ancient times, fire has been a focal point of ritual, especially in the Vedic culture, where rites of fire are used to communicate with the spirits, to burn through blockages, to sharpen concentration, and to give new levels of insight, right? Clarity and certainty to our lives. Something about certainty and clarity moving forward too after this new moon, because Mars is actually stationing just a day before. During the Amavasya, it looks like on November 13th, Mars begins to move forward again. This is after over 2 months of retrograde motion, which, Mars retrograde in some ways makes Mars get very strong. He's been very bright and fierce and fighting in the last 2 months, but there's also a certain confusion that can happen, a sort of delay and frustration with Mars retrograde. So this Mars direct, I think, is a positive push forward to try to really get clear and clear away the confusion and doubt and start to move forward in any, especially work efforts or different projects or ideas that you've been having. But one of the most important things about this time, around this new moon, is Jupiter. Now, Jupiter's been hanging out very close to Pluto, that expansive energy with Pluto. And it seems like there is a pattern with the pandemic, with COVID-19, that this does seem to inflame the virus and make it stronger. And we have seen a big jump since Jupiter's been crossing Pluto these last weeks in cases, at least in the United States. There has been a lot of more numbers, it seems. And Jupiter is about to go into Capricorn again. Now, that's going to happen on November 19th. Jupiter is going to cross out of Sagittarius, where he's been very strong, and move into Capricorn. He was already there in 2020 from March 30th or so till June 30th, 3 months. And in that time, we saw some of the most volatile energy, actually, of fear and contraction around the quarantine and around the COVID especially. I feel there is something there that may have to come back for some time. Now, Jupiter will be in Capricorn from November 19th until April 5th coming up, so through the winter. And in this time, he is going to cross over Saturn, who's already there. This is going to be called the Great Conjunction. We've basically had a dose of this already back, in 2020, especially during those months when Jupiter and Saturn were together in Capricorn. But the Great Conjunction is historically a signal of government changes, of reconstruction. Sometimes it's recession, because Jupiter, that expansive energy, is coming together with Capricorn, which is much more grounded and realistic, wants sustainable growth. So sometimes there has to be some kind of reconstruction, some kind of new strategy, especially on the collective level. So there is some kind of tension, something mounting now after, especially after Jupiter goes into Capricorn and through December. The Great Conjunction will climax on the winter solstice, by the way, a very powerful and deep time for the world anyway. And it is the closest these two planets have come for many hundreds of years because of declinations. So this is quite a powerful omen. And it is also, though, it's just such an opportunity on a spiritual level. Jupiter coming together with Saturn can really help you overcome personal fears and inhibitions by facing them, and give a sort of a sense of personal power in the face of how you see your life, perhaps how you take responsibility for your happiness. And so I did actually teach a class on this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, but it was way back in March. So some of the information is sort of now past. It's not as current as it used to be. But if you are interested, you can still buy that class. I'm going to be offering it. I am offering it on my website. And it does give horoscopes for all the Vedic signs, the 12 Vedic signs, and how this Jupiter Capricorn transit will affect you. And so this will be valid through April 5th of 2021, and then September 12th to November 20th, just about a month at the end of the year of 2021 as well. So if you're still interested in learning about that, I'll put a link below in the description window. And this is a very powerful turning point coming up. And also the next full moon will be a lunar eclipse. So there's a lot of transformation. There's a lot of kind of stuff brewing here in the weeks to come, especially through December. So But anyway, let's just see what the tarot cards have to say about this Diwali new moon in Vishaka. Okay, so the first card that came through is the Two of Coins. Change, fluctuation. There's a lot changing right now. Like I say, we're up for a reconstruction, and this is actually the Jupiter in Capricorn card. As Jupiter's changing signs. And we also got another two. Two twos. Kind of interesting because I'm filming this on 11/11, November 11th, 2020. So 2 twos. Yeah, this, I think it's very auspicious. Twos are showing up. There's something that's moving forward in a powerful way. This is like Mars here, Mars in Aries. Mars is stationing now tomorrow. Or the next day, and right before the new moon. Something moving forward. And he's stationing in Pisces, sidereal Pisces, and moving into Aries by the end of December. So this is time to move forward as well. There's change afoot, that is for sure. Positive change. And finally, the Temperance. Wow, this is called art in this deck, but traditional decks, it's the Temperance card. The goddess. The goddess herself, like Lakshmi, holding the cauldron of possibility, of abundance, cooking something. This is a card of alchemy, of moderation, of getting the ingredients correct, of cooking the appropriate amount of time to allow grace to flourish. Like when an egg is incubating and something is in gestation. A lot of potential coming forward. The abundance of possibility. Sometimes things flow out and sometimes things come back. Like the changing tides of life. Allow for prosperity and happiness and clarity to come through in its own time. What may seem hopeless or a loss may ultimately be the greatest gain as she blesses you, as she blesses the earth and all her children. You are a part of her great plan, the fire of possibility is rising, cooking this earth. And you are part of the blessing in her cauldron. 11/11/2020. Light a candle on this new moon. Say a prayer into it, or a wish, or an intention. It's a very powerful new moon to do that. And yeah, if you'd like to reach out to me for a Vedic astrology reading or tarot reading, I do offer them on Zoom or by phone. You can book a reading with me on my website. I'll leave a link in the description window. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like it. And also my newsletter. I write a little blog to often say things that I don't say in the blog, and there's more information often in the blog, and it's totally free. So get on the newsletter, and I will see you soon on the upcoming full moon. This will be a lunar eclipse, so get ready, you guys. Happy Diwali.